friends, my name is Jeanette and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to talk about 6 books that are coming out in January, February, and March 2026 that I am looking forward to, and I think you should put them on your list too. I don't know though, I haven't read them yet. Obviously, they haven't been released. So in January, on January the 20th, is book 3 of the Women of Midtown series by Elizabeth Camden. This book is called Beyond the Clouds. It is a historical romance. Now, I have not read book 1 and 2 of this series yet, but they are on my list to read next year. So if I could binge this series next year, that would be great. I've really enjoyed the Elizabeth Camden books that I have read, and book 2, especially of this series, has really intrigued me and I want to get to it, and I like to complete series, so that is why book 3 is on my list. And because it is book 3, I'm not going to read you the whole description, but I will read a portion of it and the tagline. So the tagline is, "They lost each other once before. Now the clouds of war may give them a second chance." As teenagers, Delia and Finn fell in love while flying kites and dreaming of a future together, until betrayal tore them apart. Set during World War I, will the greatest danger be the conflict raging around them, or the possibility of falling in love again? I don't know. I am intrigued. Okay, on February the 3rd, a novella collection is being released by Lynette, Eason, and Dani, Pettrey. Now, I am not a huge novella person normally, but these are 2 of my favorite authors, and this is romantic suspense. And I would only read this in the winter. So the first novella is Buried in Shadows by Dani, Pettrey. And it says, Cassandra arrives at her best friend's destination wedding, praying her stalker didn't follow her to Colorado. Also part of the wedding party is Sheriff Joel Brunswick, the man Cassandra left at the altar to save his life. When an avalanche traps their skiing party in an abandoned lodge, it soon becomes dangerously clear Cassandra's stalker has followed her, and he is willing to kill her to make her his. Or he's willing to kill to make her his. Oh boy. Then in the second one, it is called Snowbound Secrets by Lynette, Eason. Dr. Maya Sullivan fully intends to escape her past and finish planning a retreat for military veterans at the ranch she's inherited. Unfortunately, her plans go sideways when an avalanche traps her in a Colorado ski resort. An unexpected reunion with her high school crush forces her to confront past wounds. But soon she realizes someone is targeting her, and their search for a shadowy enemy becomes a matter of life and death. So they're both trapped in a ski lodge. Are they trapped in the same ski lodge together? Do these stories overlap? I don't know. I guess we'll have to read it to find out. Then also on February the 3rd is Mist Over the Channel Islands. I did not write the name down correctly. That's funny. Here's the cover. So Mist Over the Channel Islands by Sarah Sundin. This is a historical fiction. I have read all of Sarah Sundin's books to date, so this one I would need to read to continue reading her to zero. And this one is set around World War II. The German invasion of the British Channel Islands shatters Dr. Ivy Picot's peaceful world, forcing her to shoulder the weight of her father's medical practice and hold together a family unraveling under the strain of war. As conditions worsen with the arrival of thousands of forced laborers, Ivy's quiet allegiance to the Allies compels her to risk everything, providing medical aid to escaped workers, even as danger closes in. Then we have Dutch engineer and resistance member Gerrit van der Zee volunteers to build fortifications for the Germans so he can secretly send maps and diagrams to the Allies. On his arrival in the Channel Islands, he crosses paths with Ivy, who shows him contempt for the uniform he wears. As tensions mount and their missions grow increasingly dangerous, Ivy and Garrett must confront the cost of courage, the meaning of sacrifice, and whether love can survive in the shadow of war. Okay, then February the 17th, Karen Witemeyer has a new series that is starting with book 1 called Taming Lady Temprance. The series is called The Secret Society of Spinsters. That is quite the series name. Okay, and the tagline says, when passion for justice conflicts with the heart, which will prevail? Noreen is an enthusiastic member of the Women's Christian Temperance Union and believes herself called to defend the cause of prohibition. When she's invited to join the Secret Society of Spinsters, Noreen jumps at the chance to rally others to her movement and shut down the local saloon for good. However, her passionate campaigning puts her in odds with the men around her, including the local deputy. Deputy James Paxton believes in preserving peace, but Miss O'Sullivan has been disturbing his peace for months. Tensions escalate at the saloon and accusations fly. James must choose between upholding his badge and protecting the woman, knowing either choice could cost him everything. What is going to happen? I'm excited for that one. Now, probably my most anticipated book for this first quarter comes out March the 3rd, and that is Last to Fall by Lynn H. Blackburn. It is romantic suspense, and it is book 3 of the Gossamer Falls series. But because it's book 3, I'm not going to tell you a whole lot. I'm not going to read the full description. But I will tell you, this one follows Bronwyn and Mo, who we have met over the course of books 1 and book 2. And there's been hints about their background and their story, but you don't really know it. This should provide all the answers for that. I'm really hoping anyways. And so part of the description says, with danger closing in and no one else to turn to, Bronwyn and Mo must break years of silence to uncover who is trying to destroy the haven. They'll have to risk everything, including their hearts, to expose the truth before it's too late. I cannot wait for this one. I am anxious to know their story. Okay, also on March the 3rd is another romantic suspense, and that is Raging Waters by Dana Mentink. It is book 2 of the Elements of Danger series. Book 1 was Fire Mountain, which came out during the summer. And so I'm not too sure about this one. This one kind of scares me a little bit because of the topic of it. I will tell you that once I read the description. So as the dam crumbles and water sweeps across the terrain, their battle for justice and survival is just beginning. When Mackenzie's brother Aaron was murdered in a drug deal gone wrong, she started a true crime podcast dedicated to exposing Bullseye, the drug kingpin responsible. But her protective heart has never let go of the blame she places on herself and Aaron's best friend Gideon. On the run to the wilds of Washington to chase a recent lead, she meets none other than Gideon himself. As killers begin to circle Mackenzie like sharks, it's clear to Gideon she's in over her head, and in light of his troubled past with her brother, he can't bring himself to ignore her situation. Then a flood happens, a flood threatens the town, turning their investigation into a race to escape the raging waters and the wrath of a powerful kingpin who wants to sink them both. Yeah, I am not a fan of water, and the thought of a flood and trying to escape from the flood just freaks me out. But I really want to read this one. So I will read it. It's almost as bad as the snowstorm being trapped in a ski lodge. Like, what are these people doing to me? Why do I read suspense? Because I love it. And I'd rather read it than live it. So those are the 6 books that I am anxious to release and that I cannot wait to read. I would love to know, what is your most anticipated release for the next quarter, so January, February, and March of 2026. And I know there are a ton of books coming out that I have not mentioned, but these are my top 6 that I am looking forward to personally. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.